fuck, Danny B. Danny B. You tripping, man. Put it down. Hold on. Pocket full of motherfucking blue. What? You can now put people in timeout. Got it. Hell nah. That's kind of dope. Put this like that. You motherfucking right. You motherfucking right, goddammit. That's how I feel. Y'all tripping, man. Why y'all getting Danny B? Attack Louie P. Louie P, get him. Get Danny B. He's right there. Man, what type of shit is that? You ain't supposed to lick him. I thought they was gonna fight. Play fight. Fucking hell. Look, man. I ain't even want to get on here for real. Like, I was gonna just this was originally supposed to just be a response video to a comment on one of my latest videos, where basically the dude was like, I mean, it wasn't negative. He was just saying, like, I think he was just pointing out sort of the obvious, you know what I mean? But the comment was from some dude. He said, wearing a Fuck America shirt is wild. And I'm just like, look, I tried like 8 different ways to make a response to that video. Wasn't happening. Damn, I still didn't get the book. Hold on, man. Ooh, Pete! I had to go get the rest of these books and shit. Because I wanted to respond. You probably like, what the fuck you talking about? What's up, y'all, man? Who is that? Joker, Lucas, guten Abend, Lucas. Louis 420 Killer, my ninja, said, fuck America. Hell yeah, sir. You woke. That's what I'm talking about. You motherfucking right. I hate telling people I'm woke. Like, it has such a negative connotation to it, but because I'm pretty much everything that the right wing says that the left is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not a pedophile, but I mean, I'm all the other things. Like, they think we're like devil worshipers, which I'm not, but I am a Satanist, I guess. But it's all one and the same to them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whatever, devil worshiper, Satanist, it's all the same, you know. Fucking or an atheist, which I also am, because I'm an atheistic Satanist. So I don't even believe in Satan. Like, I don't believe there is one. Just like I don't believe there's a God, because there's no evidence for either of them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So it's sort of just like, just as a quick to explain real quick, just, you know what I'm saying? Atheistic Satanism is a strong emphasis on the atheist part. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like being, and like if motherfuckers believed in Harry Potter or some shit, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, he don't exist. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's no real character Harry Potter that exists. You know what I'm saying? They got like magical powers and flies on brooms and shit. Like, you know, that's not a thing. I hope you know that. Anyway, you never know what motherfuckers know nowadays. Some motherfuckers might really think a motherfucker can do that. They may not think Harry Potter exists, but they probably believe that you can, for real, play a goddamn game of Quidditch on a goddamn broom if you just have the right magic potion or some shit. Like, you just never fucking know, man. I don't put nothing past dumb motherfuckers. But anyway, there's probably motherfuckers who, but anyway, but that beside the point. It's not that you believe Harry Potter exists. You know what I mean? It's just you might like the aesthetic associated with Harry Potter. You might like just some of the, maybe the language, the words, you know what I mean, that's associated with Harry Potter. You might like just what sort of values, I guess you could say, that Harry himself sort of like, I don't know why the word is, yes, I do. I'm smoking these motherfucking moon rocks, dog. I'm fucked up right now. I can't even really think of what I'm trying to say. But anyway, it's not that you believe in him. It's you just might feel like the values that he possesses, you know what I'm saying, are the same values that you know what I'm saying? That you're like, oh yeah, those are the same values as me. You know what I mean? And I like the whole Harry Potter aesthetic, like that whole, you know what I mean, schoolboy, schoolgirl, you know, posh, sort of, you know, British, maybe Gothic, sort of, you know, aesthetic. I just, you know, so maybe you adopt it, but you understand that there's no real Harry Potter, you know what I mean? And that's sort of like what Satanism is, like whatever, you know, Christians associate with Satan to be like a dark figure, you know, just mean representing darkness, the king or prince of darkness, you know. And so we adopt a dark aesthetic, you know what I'm saying? Plus it just fucking looks cool, man. Get the fuck out of here. I'd rather hang out with the fucking atheist Satanist than I would with the fucking button up fucking Mormon. Get the fuck out of here. What you about to do? Tell me about your fucking... Get the fuck out of here. Like, that whole Mormon shit is just fucking weird. But that just go to show you, like, motherfuckers believe anything. Y'all believe anything with no hardcore, concrete, testable, justifiable evidence whatsoever. Like, nothing that can be repeated, nothing that can be peer reviewed, and, you know, none of that. Like, you can't replicate this shit at any sort of consistency or any sort of testable measure. You know what I mean? Hey, get the fuck out of here. But anyway, that's beside the point. Strong emphasis on the atheistic part. And again, we feel like, according to the Bible, that most of us who are atheistic Satanists now, who grew up in Christianity, were taught that pretty much Satan, as he was depicted in the Garden of Eden, was just a truth teller, you know. Because two things were true, like that Satan told them, Eve rather, that were evidence that God lied, basically. So while the prevailing narrative is that Satan is the father of the lie, really, Jehovah, Yahweh, Allah, Jesus, whichever name you want to call him, the Abrahamic God of the Old Testament, that motherfucker is the father of the lie. You told Adam and Eve that you should not eat from the tree of knowledge, you know. Otherwise, you will perish today, like it's over for your monkey ass. But they didn't kill him. Like, you just kicked him out the fucking garden. You told the lie, motherfucker. Satan was like, man, look, dog, eat from the tree, cuz. Like, why wouldn't you want knowledge? Why is God trying to keep knowledge from you? You know what I'm saying? And then the story goes, like, once they both ate this shit, they realized, oh shit, we're naked. we need to cover up our particular parts and carry it on. And it's like, really? Like, why would you even feel the need to do that if y'all's the only two motherfuckers there? Like, I mean, that's your bitch. That's your man. Like, y'all used to seeing each other naked. What the fuck? And all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, we need to cover up. Like, cover up in front of who? The snake? You know. God, he already seen you. Like, what the fuck? He created you. Like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, you ain't gonna die, but you will know some shit. And they didn't die, and they did know some shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm butchering that story, but you know how it go. I'm just saying, oh, that's bullshit. But anyway, back to the shirt. Like I said, I wasn't gonna go into it. Like, if you really are interested in what atheistic Satanism is, again, there's videos online, some pretty good ones too, like that really explain it honestly, what it is. I even have some of them like on my channel, like, but they like in the fucking community section, you know what I'm saying? Where you see all my polls and shit and questionnaires or whatever, or pictures. I ain't posted a picture in a minute. Like, I feel like I ain't posted a picture since the Pride Parade. Like, that was the last time I think I posted something online, like on YouTube. Get him, Louie P. He ain't even looking. Sorry, I threw him off. But anyway, so I was trying to like explain to him the shirt, and I was like, look, man, you gotta see it from my perspective. I am a black man in America who didn't like immigrate here. You know what I'm saying? I was fucking, my ancestors were fucking stolen from their homes and brought here, assuming, you know, well, of course they did because I'm here and shit. I'm like, cause some motherfuckers didn't make it, you know what I'm saying? Some motherfuckers, like, shit, I'd rather die than go over there and be a fucking slave. I already know what they about to, or continue to exist in the manner in which they've forced upon us as of yet. Like, I don't want to continue living under this. Like, let alone what happens whenever we get to wherever the fuck we're going, you know. But nah, man, so I'm just like, so anyway, just that fact, like, is already atrocious. And then the fact that they, you know, would use the Bible when it was time, you know, to justify doing so. Because, I mean, it does say it in there, you know, I mean, it explains how to at least fucking, you know, how to treat your slaves, where to get your slaves from, you know, and all that kind of shit. Like, so I can see why they was like, look, the Bible says, I mean, that's just the way that's the way it is. You know what I mean? It's just right there in the Bible. The Bible says, here's how you do it, you know. Anywho, so that's number one. Number two, when they wrote the fucking Constitution, they were not talking about black people. They were not talking about the recently freed slaves. Well, not freed at the time, you know, but they were talking about the motherfucking slaves that they just brought over here and shit that they had in their motherfucking homes and shit. Like, they wasn't talking about them when they said life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, freedom, First Amendment, Second Amendment. Like, that wasn't for you, motherfucker. Like, it was. They really had in mind property owners, particularly white male property owners, is who they were really writing it for. But, you know, there's enough leeway for other motherfuckers to be able to benefit from that. But black people, no, sir. Didn't have you in mind, sir. You were not who we were talking about when we said people or citizens or we or anything like that. We were not talking about black people. Like, so that's number one. And number two, it's like they never got rid of slavery. Like, it's not the normal business. It's not like that's not what our economy is built on now. Don't get me started on that. But anyway, it's not built on at least chattel slavery anymore. But yeah, I mean, you only abolished it in the sense that, again, we're not like commercially available for buying and selling and carrying on. It's like now it's just sort of confined to the justice system and the prisons, which is why they try so fucking hard to come up with any stupid fucking law. That's why when they tell you like laws are meant to be broken, that is 100% a fact. That is not hyperbole. They literally created dumbass fucking laws that they knew black people would have no choice but to break, you know, because of their condition at the time. You know what I mean? And therefore, and still, contemporarily even, but still, I mean, so they made the laws just knowing that just by default, you were going to have to break it. You know what I'm saying? And then therefore, you free motherfucker shit. And you ain't free now, goddammit. We putting you ass in prison so we can get the South back jumping again. You know what I'm saying? With all this free labor. So yeah, man, like, so they never, 13th Amendment just made it, like I said. So now prison is where slavery is only allowed. But that's still an American thing. Like, we're still in America, motherfucker. So slavery is still existing in America. And that's just the prison system. Don't get me started on the other, like, labor shit that I've heard recently. Read about reports that I've read. But anywho, that was like over a month ago, so I don't really remember. But anywho, there's still that kind of slavery happening. Like, what the fuck? Maybe not so much to like black people, but I'm not excluding them either. So that's number two. Keep in mind, once we were freed and there was Reconstruction, and then I had to find out there was black people at that time who were like in Congress and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? Wait, what? I thought we couldn't vote till like the 60s and shit. You know, I thought like that's what the whole civil rights thing was about. And they was like, nah. They was like, the history books were like, no. Like, yeah, you motherfuckers was able to vote. Y'all even had political office. Like, them motherfuckers took that shit away. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fuck happened. Like, so when the civil rights, you know, Martin Luther King and all that shit, that was trying to get the shit back, motherfucker. Like, that wasn't trying to get them like, oh, we never had them. We're just trying to get, no, it was like, motherfucker, we had that shit once. Like, can we get that shit back? Like, that's what it was all about. And, you know, and working and, you know, jobs. And it was deeper than that. But I'm just saying. And you saw anybody who's seen any footage of any of this shit from the civil rights era can tell you right there, like, look how they treated us. Like, I hate when people say they treated us like animals. And I'm like, well, you got to define what kind of animal. Because there's some animals that we treat like the rest of us. And then there's some animals that we just don't give two shits about. Like I don't know, like maybe a rat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe they looked at us like rats. Because, like, you can't say, oh, they treated black people like dogs. I'm like, what dog you know? Like, I've always loved dogs. Most people I know love dogs or have dogs. You know what I'm saying? And they love them motherfuckers. They take them every fucking where they go. You know, they groom them, name them, have to let them sleep with them, kiss them in the mouth. You know, they clean up their poop. Yeah, these are loved, cherished members of the family. They even sometimes refer to them as their children, you know. But not a rat. A rat, you could literally set it on fire, alive, in front of you, and you won't feel anything for it. No matter how much it squeals or tries to get away, or if anything, if it tries to get away, you'll probably bash the fuck out of it. Like, wait, what the fuck? You know, get back in the fire. It's like, that's more like what, you know, they treated us like. Or shit is just as accurate, you know. Shit you don't even want to smell, see, be around. You don't even want to talk about shit. Unless you have to, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, that was black people. You know what I mean? That's how they've always regarded us. Even when the motherfuckers talk about like the New Deal, FDR, the New Deal, like how he like really implemented some really progressive changes at the exclusion of black people. It's like they never tell you that part, you know what I'm saying? How he had to make some concessions in order to get some legislation passed. And in order to do that, he had to make sure that certain shit wouldn't be extended to black people, you know, black people in quotations, because again, they didn't really see us as such. They never considered us equals. I mean, if you could just read any history, any real history about America from a non-apologist, mostly dissenters, and then it's like, I mean, just the indiscriminate killing, bombing of people in, say, Guatemala or Cambodia, fucking Laos, Jesus Christ, you know, or even fucking Nagasaki. Like, well, you know what I mean? What the fuck? Where do we bomb? Japan? Twice? Like, what the fuck? You know, like what the actual fuck? So look, it wasn't until I read this book and 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 this book, Howard Zinn, baby. This here and this book and this book, The Hidden History of Neoliberalism, Tom Hartman, rather. Sorry about that. But I started to feel like, fuck America. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, once you read that shit, you like, seriously? Seriously? Like, at every turn where there was a decision to either be humanitarian, you know, or savage, maniacal butchery, we always went with that one. We were like, yeah, let's do that. It's kind of like America was never the kid that, like, if America's a bully, right? And the rest of the world is the bullied. It's not enough that we, like, took your lunch money, took your favorite Jordans off your feet, beat you up in front of everybody. It's not enough that we did that. It's not enough that we pointed and laughed as you in pain on the ground. It's not enough that we pointed and laughed, like belly rolling, like doubling over, tears falling, cracking the fuck up, laughing and pointing. It's not enough that we did that. No. We also had to, like, take as many pictures and videos of it, post it on all social media platforms, talked about it, made it viral, put it on the news. Now the news talking about it, so the rest of the world know about it. And the rest of the world is laughing along with you. Nah, it's just like we couldn't do it. It wasn't never enough to just be like, yeah, we won the fight. Nah, we had to, like, fuck you and your family and their family. You know what I'm saying? And your neighbors, and fuck them all. Just fuck anyone and anybody who looks like you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's how America has always been. Like, look at 9/11. You know what I'm saying? First of all, let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100, son. The Bush administration did not give a fuck about getting revenge. You know what I'm saying? It was never about retribution. We gotta go get them motherfuckers. The motherfuckers attacked us, sons of bitches. No, he ain't give a fuck. I mean, he ain't lose nobody he personally gave a fuck about. So, I mean, and all you need to know that is a fact. It's like, where did we immediately invade once it was determined who orchestrated the attacks and who actually did the attacks? It's like, where the fuck did we end up going? Now, let's keep in mind, before you answer that question, because I already know you know the answer, Where were the attackers from? Where were the motherfucking attackers on the planes from? Okay, now if you don't know, the overwhelming majority of them, like if it was like 10 motherfuckers, 8 of them was from this particular country, and like 2 of them wasn't. But those other 2 weren't from the same country either. It's like one was from like Egypt or some shit, and the other one was from like somewhere else. But anyway, motherfucking Saudi Arabia, goddammit. Them motherfuckers did the shit. It was Saudi Arabians, but that is not who we invaded at all. No, sir. In fact, we're still allies with Saudi Arabia. The motherfuckers who did 9/11, goddammit, they didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck, son. They just used it as a cover to go get their goddamn oil, to go invade a motherfucker and get their goddamn oil. You have no idea how angry I was to realize this. Because I'm not just talking as somebody who just like, you know, some lefty virtue signaling or whatever the fuck. No, I was actually in the fucking army. I was the second unit to go to Iraq. Like right after the okay, maybe not the second. Oh wait, no. Yeah, we were, yeah. Well, by that I mean, it was 2 operations. It was Operation Iraqi Freedom and, well, not including, you know, Operation Enduring Freedom, which was Afghanistan. But I was in Iraq, and that was Operation Iraqi Freedom 2. So I was there in 2004. So again, the attacks happened in 2001, and I want to assume that the first unit probably went out in 2002. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the shit happened in September. You need at least, like, I think the military, I forget what the fucking code of military justice. I don't even know if that's what I'm going off of, but no, you have to have at least 6 months between deployments to go from one deployment to the next or whatever. At least 6, you know. So I would imagine like there's no way y'all was like ready to go to Iraq within like, you know what I mean? Like there's no way y'all could have sent a unit out in 2001, you know what I'm saying? Like so the first unit had to go out in 2002, you know, it just makes sense. And then they was there a year or whatever, or however long they were there, you know what I mean? Like my particular unit was only there for a year, you know. Now I don't know how long the unit that replaced us was there. I assume a year, you know, because they consider it a hardship tour, a war zone. So, anywho, but yeah, I was there from 2004 to 2005, and I lost a couple of people, like one of my homies. You know what I'm saying? Marcus. Fucking Marcus, man. It kills me that I can't think of what his last name is, but because it's just been so long. But fucking Marcus, man. He was from California, and he died in a Humvee rollover. The story I was told was that they were trying to avoid an IED on the road, and somehow in doing so, ended up upside down in a body of water, because now keep in mind, like this isn't a regular Hummer, you know what I'm saying? This is a fucking, you know, up armored Hummer, so it's heavier, you know, ballistic. So that just made it like a tomb, basically. The motherfuckers all fucking drowned. Only one person survived until he got to the hospital, and then he died. But that was the captain or the lieutenant. I can't remember what his rank was, but he was like the higher ranking one. But yeah, he was the only one that still had like a pulse or whatever. Like, but he died at the hospital. Marcus, from what I was told by one of my homies who told us, like he came in the room, we was all in one of our rooms, just like chilling or whatever, and then he just busts in the room and says Marcus is dead. You know what I'm saying? We're like, what the fuck is you saying, man? Like, why would you play like that? You know? But he was, damn, hold on. Damn, shit, I'm getting choked up. Ah, fuck. Hold on. Ah, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck that. But, Yeah, man. Anyway, when he told us, like, I don't know, like it didn't hit me right away. It didn't even really hit any of us right away. It kind of took a minute, you know what I'm saying? But he basically said when they pulled him out the water, like his eyes were rolled in the back of his head, his tongue was hanging out his mouth, and his stomach was just huge, almost like he was pregnant, but just filled with all the water from whatever body of water again that they pulled him out of. And right, because I forget how long he said they had been down there. So it was kind of like, anyway, he had just turned 21. You know what I'm saying? Ah, fuck. Ah, Louie, what the fuck? I'm not trying to do this. Not trying to do this. Anyway, fast forward, because I'm not trying to fucking cry and shit, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, fast forward. So now I learned that like the whole thing was bullshit. That we was over there for no fucking reason. Oh, well, none of the reason that we thought we was there. Like we thinking we there to like kill some Hajis. Like that's what we told ourselves. And shit was racist as fuck. But like that's what we was telling ourselves. Like we looked at them as less than people because you motherfuckers attacked America. And it's like they didn't even attack America. It wasn't even them. Like it was the fucking Saudi Arabians, and we're still fucking cool with them and shit. Because we never cared. Like me and you cared. But like the motherfuckers in power, Dick Cheney, Bush, all the Rumsfeld, all them motherfuckers are just fucking evil demons. You know what I'm saying? No offense to demons, but I'm just saying, like, that's fucked up. Like, so the only way to justify any of the people that I knew there that died is to say that they died protecting their brother to their left or their right. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't in vain. I mean, that might be copium, you know what I'm saying? Because the truth of the matter might be that he really did die in vain. Like, you died for this bullshit country that you thought you were protecting and serving, when really you're just participating in more bullshit, capitalist imperialism. And that's all we was really doing. We were just the arm of the state, carrying out the wishes just to get motherfuckers that's already rich, richer. It's the only thing we were doing. And we didn't care who we had to kill to make that happen. And all those Iraqis were doing. Because keep in mind, who fights the wars here? It's not the rich. It's not the privileged. You know, it's the poor. The poor make up the overwhelming majority of the ground force of the fucking military. You don't think that's the same thing in their country? So I'm just killing their poor motherfuckers, poor ass motherfucking Iraqis who join the military thinking it's going to be a good paycheck or whatever so they can provide for their families so that they can come and defend their country against this invading force who comes here to do harm. That's all they were trying to do. They like, it's just bullshit. Like, it's bullshit. Now, fortunately, I didn't kill anyone the whole year and 2 weeks or whatever I was there. But like, and I came this close one time. Like, if we'd have followed, you know, the rules of engagement, which we didn't in that particular instance. And I was always mad about it, but now I'm like, in hindsight, glad that the things worked out the way they did, because then I would have a guilty conscience for having murdered a child. Like, that would have been the only time I would have had an opportunity to pull the trigger at a Target. That's the only way we referred to him, because he was coming up on the gate, and I had to man the APC, which was the 50 cal. You know what I'm saying? Big dumbass machine gun. You know what I mean? But yeah. So the rules of engagement was like, look, tell them to stop. If they keep coming, point your weapon at them. And that's basically your final warning. Like, you tell them to stop again. Like, that's the second time. Like, first time is stop, If they don't fucking stop, then you raise your weapon and say stop again. And you also say it in their language. So we was also taught, I don't remember, because I didn't have to know. Or maybe I did, but I just don't fucking remember. But anyhow, you also had to say it again in their language. And if they kept coming, there is no third warning. Like, there's no shoot in the sky. There's no shoot their leg. It was like, no, rules of engagement. If you shoot your weapon, it is to kill the target. It's to kill whatever you're pointing your weapon at. It's not to wound him. It's to kill him. Like, that is the rules of engagement. You get 2 warnings and you're fucking a ghost, motherfucker. Sayonara. But that ain't what happened. We told this kid to stop. He kept coming. We told him to stop again, and at this point, I'm already locked and loaded again, damn it. He told him to stop again and in his language, and he kept coming. So now, because I'm not, I have to get permission to shoot from the ranking officer, or the ranking sergeant, whatever. So I'm like, permission to shoot, sergeant. And he just kind of ignores me and keeps doing it, like keeps telling the kid to stop. Now, eventually the kid stopped. But like after 4, 5, 6 warnings, goddammit, like what the fuck are we doing, dog? What if he was strapped up? He could have blown us up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the way we was looking at it. Because what we were taught before we got to Iraq was, look, the enemy knows that Americans are soft when it comes to women and children. Like, so we'll use them over. They will use women and children thinking that you will be easy on them or whatever, or less, you let your guard down a little bit. So once they told me that, I was like, shit, let this motherfucker run up on me. I'm pulling the trigger. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't about to get in trouble. Like, I'm not about to get in trouble. Not like that for killing a motherfucker and it was a kid. And when I say a kid, this kid was like, he couldn't have been no older than 3. Like, I mean, when he was walking, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know where his parents was and shit, but he was like, he had on like just like white t-shirt and that was it, you know what I'm saying? And he was like a piece of paper that he's waving or whatever, like, but I mean, he looked harmless. I mean, he was harmless, but I didn't know that. At the time, I was ready to shoot. And anybody that shot the 50 cal on that goddamn APC already know. Like that bullet is this fucking long. Like I'm trying to do like actual size. Like that motherfucker is long as fuck. That shit, if I'd have aimed center mass, he was about to explode. God damn it. Like his head was about to be, it would have been over for that motherfucker. Like we don't even need to wait for the doctor. You can look at him and see he's dead, That'd have been murder she wrote. Case closed. There's end of discussion, goddammit, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. But fortunately, it didn't go down. I didn't, the motherfuckers that was like running, like when this happened, it was sort of like in a pre-transition phase. Like we was getting ready for the National Guard of wherever the fuck they came from to relieve our unit. So like they had sent the unit in to like, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers was so civilian, like, man, like these motherfuckers calling each other by the first names and shit. We just didn't do that, man. Like I was in the regular army, like where it was 24/7, wake up, go to sleep every day, 24/7, 365. Like army. You know what I'm saying? Like there is no 2 weekends a month, a weekend a year. What? Like y'all just playing army. You know what I'm saying? But y'all living civilian lives more than you are the army life. Whereas we were living the army life with a little taste of civilian life every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, these motherfuckers, they wanted me to call a lieutenant, wanted me to call him by his first name. I was so like my brain broke at that minute. It's like, do I not follow his order because he's a he's a lieutenant and I'm just a specialist? Do I disobey and do what I'm taught, or what? I don't know what to do right now. Like, do I say yes, Jimmy, or yes, sir, Jimmy, sir? Like, I was lost. Like, he's like, nah, just call me Jimmy. I'm like, bruh. Bro, we in the motherfucking army. Like, what is your last name, bruh? Like, I'm calling you Lieutenant whatever the fuck, dog. Like, or sir, you know. Call me Jimmy. You niggas is not military, dog. Y'all so civilian. But anyway, them motherfuckers was the ones that was like, you know, the highest ranking ones on the guard duty, well, at that particular guard post at that time. Like, I was just the APC gunman, you know what I'm saying? He was like the North Gate sergeant, you know what I'm saying? It was like two entrances to this particular outpost. It was the North Gate and the West Gate. And for like most of the year, I was one of the guards at one of the towers or the West Gate, you know. But most of the time I was at the West Gate. I was only in the towers like maybe 2-3 times, you know what I'm saying? But I was mostly at West Gate. But then I've been in North Gate, you know what I'm saying? But North Gate got bombed, you know what I'm saying? I remember when that shit happened. Don't worry, I ain't about to get all choked up. But I remember when that happened, like, that shit sounded like, well, first of all, it was a car bomb. But when it happened, damn it, that shit sounded like it was like I'm inside like one of the offices and shit, you know what I'm saying? That just sounded like a bomb was dropped at the front door of that building we was in. Like, what the fuck? Like, we was just all like, what the fuck was that? Like, I was like looking outside like, damn, are they dropping mortars and shit? You know, bro, I was scared as fuck. I ain't even gonna lie. I had to wait for reports to find out that, well, like, not reports, but like, anyway, so that shit happened. The motherfucking first sergeant run in like, put on your shit, you know. It's like, cause like when you like after 6 months, or I think it was 6 months or 3 months. After 3 months, if it was like we can go 3 months straight without getting attacked, then we'll let you, you know, you can just kind of walk around without all your shit on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still had to wear your helmet and you still had to carry your weapon, but you didn't have to have like the ballistic vest necessarily, and you didn't have to have like the nut guard and shit and throat guard and all that shit. Like, you ain't have to have all that on. You just had to have your helmet, basically. So, damn it, I just spilled fucking coffee on myself. Damn it. Well, it wasn't hot anyway. But anyway, so yeah. So that's why he was like, put your shit on. Like, so we ain't had none of that shit on. Plus, when you in the office, like, you don't even need to have the helmet on. You can just have on like a regular hat. But anyway, so shit. I mean, he didn't really have to say that. Like, we was already kind of like, oh shit, what the fuck? Putting the shit on, like, I'm like, what was it, first sergeant? You know, and he was like, it was, he said it was a car bomb at the North Gate. And he was like, oh shit. I'm like, damn, the North Gate? Where's that happening? I'm like, man, I thought that shit just happened right outside. Like, I was thinking I was gonna look outside and see some blown up shit. But like, nah, he was like, it's at the North Gate. I'm like, all right. So I immediately jumped in my fucking Hummer because I had like friends that work in the North Gate. So I jump in the Hummer and shit, and I see my sergeant, Sergeant Robichaud. Like, I seen Sergeant Rob coming up, so I'm like, he already knew what it was. So he get in the truck with me and shit. I'm like, man, he was like, well, I heard it was a fucking car bomb. I'm like, yeah, at the fucking North Gate. So we get to the fucking North Gate. And as we're going to the North Gate, you hear all the radio traffic, fucking Master Sergeant, like, we need bodies because we need, you know, like, just meaning they need motherfuckers at the gate. Like, get to the West Gate or to the North Gate. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need bodies at the North Gate. Bring body bags. I'm like, body bags? God damn. Like, what the fuck? They needed a detail just to clean off like the concertina wire and shit. Like, they needed, like, because it was like body parts and skin and fragments and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because what happened was some Iraqi dude, whatever, Al-Qaeda, ISIS. I don't know what he was with, if he claimed any of that shit. But like, yeah, he was in the motherfucking, it was a red car and he just drove that shit through the North Gate and blew himself up. You know what I'm saying? They found the engine of the car like way the fuck away from the gate, like on top of these sandbags that we kind of like surrounded the area with. Like, so it was these big dumbass sandbags. It was like on top of that shit, far as fuck away. Like, his face had completely separated from his skull. Like, so they found, it looked like a Halloween mask because when they took a picture of it, they had put it like in a bowl. You know what I'm saying? It still had the mustache and the eyebrows and shit. It was like, what the fuck? But then under that was just blood because it was like just in a bowl of his own blood, I guess. But yeah, it just had his face completely separated from the skull. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, and some other shit. Like, but anyway, so yeah, that happened. Now, during that attack, the commander at the time, his name was Captain Khan. In fact, his parents was at like Obama's, I don't know. His parents was like on TV and shit, and was at Washington because their son had died in Iraq. And I was like, oh shit, that's your parents? Like, well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, that's his parents? What the fuck? I know that. I knew their son. Like, I ain't know him. You know what I'm saying? He a fucking captain. I was just a fucking specialist. We didn't keep up with them. And he wasn't my captain. You know what I'm saying? He was just a captain. But yeah, like they said when he died, from what I was told, was that when the car blew, shrapnel had like severed his head, like from underneath the helmet, like, cause you know the helmet comes about like here and shit, you know what I'm saying? And it went boom and severed his head from there. What I was told. Now I keep saying that because I didn't see any official records. I didn't actually see his body. I wasn't there when it happened, so like I don't fucking know. I'm just telling you what I was told, you know. But yeah, and my other dude, like he was there too, but like he had just suffered, like he blew out his eardrum, the one that was sort of facing the blast. So he got a Purple Heart for that. But yeah, like you don't want to get a Purple Heart. Like my first sergeant told us, like a Purple Heart mean you fucked up. Somebody fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get a Purple Heart, I'm like, damn. He's like, cause you just don't want that. That means you got injured, dog. And it's like you don't want that. That means you got injured in combat. Like you don't get one for just I was in garrison and got hurt. Like man, you don't get one for that. Got to be in a combat. But anyway, so yeah. Anyway, Iraq. So that was some bullshit. Anyway, long story short. Yeah, Iraq is some bullshit. And I hated that we had to be there. I hated that we were there under false pretenses. I hated that the people that I knew died. And I hate that they died so young. And I hate that they died so young for a country that never gave a fuck about them in the first place. And wasn't going to give a fuck about them when they returned either. No matter what propaganda they tried to sell, they never cared. They don't truly give a shit about the veterans here. Because they never gave a fuck about you to begin with, to get you even to enlist. Rich people don't enlist. Well-off people don't enlist. And if they do, it's just out of like, you know, I just wanted to do something different. I just wanted to test myself, you know, whatever. I just wanted to prove to mommy and daddy that I could do it, you know. It's never like for real. Or it's like, you know, maybe it could be actual patriotism, you know, like some of these football players that like left the NFL and went to go do that, go fight a war. Like, you stupid as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, only to die over there. Dumbass. But anyway. Yeah, that shit just pissed me off. Like, so once you read these books, goddammit, let me show you the stack of them. And this ain't even all of them. This is just some of them. I was in there like trying to think which one should I like really, you know what I'm saying, that they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that. You know, Tom Hartman, Cornel West, Howard Zinn, Shoshana Zuboff, Vladimir Lenin, Angela Davis, Noam Chomsky, Noam Chomsky, Noam Chomsky, Noam Chomsky, Noam Chomsky. Because I got like 8, 9, 10 Chomsky books that I read. You know, a couple James Baldwin books, a couple Cornell West books. I only got one Howard Zinn book so far, but I'm about to get some more because I just finished that, The 20th Century by Howard Zinn. I just finished that. It's like every page you flip, you're just shaking your head like, we are just a disgusting country, dog. Like, we are just horrible, like horrible. We racist, we're xenophobic, and we're just sadistic. There is no God in this country at all. There is no God. First of all, because there's no convincing. I'm not going to say there isn't one because I don't fucking know. But none of the evidence suggests that there is one. So none of the evidence suggests that there is a hell or a heaven. So I'm not going to believe that there's any of that shit until there's evidence to suggest otherwise. But anywho, assuming there were a God that was loving, because I still don't believe that the Abrahamic God was ever. If anything, he was just a monster. But anywho, assuming there was one, he ain't worried about America, or at least America don't give a fuck. Like, all Christians are fucking goddamn, all y'all virtue signaling. One lady at work, right, tried to, like, she was like, well, I don't understand why you wearing the whatever. And like, I was wearing like the shit that had this on it and shit. And I was like, because I'm a Satanist. You know, like, I'm like, yeah. Atheistic Satanist, but Satanist, you know. And she was like, oh. So I'm like, oh, okay. So with that reaction, you know, I was like, well, let me ask her today some questions, you know. So I went up to her and I was like, you go to church, right? And she was like, I am a believer. Yes, I believe in Jesus, you know. And I was like, but I mean, okay, so you go to church. And she was like, I do, but I haven't been in years. I'm like, so you don't? Like, why couldn't you just, I don't give a fuck. You could have just told the truth. Like, just be like, I believe that shit, but I don't go. Like, I don't go to church. It's not that I'm against it. I just don't go, you know. Like, she could have just said that. Like, but she gonna be like, no, I go to church. I haven't been in years, but I go. Like, well, then you don't go. Like, oh, what the fuck? Anyway, so I was just like, all right, well, next time you go, if you have one that you prefer to go to, ask your preacher, pastor, bishop, whoever, ask him these questions for me. I'm going to write out a couple of scriptures, and then I'd like you to present them to him and ask him if he could clarify the meaning of these scriptures. Because it seems to me that it says what it says. And I would like you to try to, like, basically, I want to see you twist yourself into knots to try to justify the unjustifiable, like, basically. So I want to see. So I was like, I got like 2 scriptures. I'm like, I actually have more than that, but if it's cool with you, if I could just go ahead and like leave those scriptures with you and just see what he says. And she's like, yeah, I'll do that. So I just went to my phone, went to my notes, because I got in my notes, you know what I'm saying, these particular, I got under Samsung notes. This is Bible verses and shit. So I just go in there. So anytime I come across an interesting Bible verse, because I read the Bible ironically, but mostly just to find the shit that like is hilarious. You know what I mean? The shit that they're like, you really donkeys talk. When's the last donkey you saw talk that wasn't animated, motherfucker? What was the last snake you seen talk? Dumbass. You know what I mean? Like, come on. But this shit happened then? Oh, because it was a longer time ago. More miraculous things happened then. You would think now more miraculous things would happen. Or we could at least find miraculous things happening, you know, but nope. You know, oh well, but that's beside the point. I'm just saying. Get him to explain these scriptures to me. Not that it matters, because I already know if he doesn't just say, yeah, it says what it says, but so what? You know, that would actually be honest, you know, and don't try to like finesse. And just because she was a black lady, I just assume her pastor is a black dude. So, which would just make it really hit home. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is the same book that you preach in here from that slave owners used to justify enslaving you. But here you are in the pulpit all like, turn to Jesus. Like, man, get the fuck out of here, dog. I would worship any other God but that one. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever God that the motherfuckers was using to justify slaving our motherfucking asses back in the day in America, then I want to worship the God where that ain't happening at. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. I understand slavery was happening in different forms all over the world. Like, it wasn't like it was just an America thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we just had like the worst kind of it. You know, we made that shit institutionalized over here. Goddamn it! Like, it's not just a thing we do. It's like a thing we practice. It's a thing in which we engage on a regular basis. You know, because it's built into the fabric of America. I mean, the truth about America is that it never meant any of the shit that it purports to care about. Like democracy, freedom. Because they never wanted you to have democracy either. Like the forefathers, if you read any of the shit from back in that day, like, them motherfuckers did not want democracy. They was like, fuck that shit. Like, you mean let them poor motherfuckers have a say in what we land-owning rich men in society? Look, we are the rich men, okay? We make all the decisions for the poor people, all right? They can't manage themselves. What the fuck do they know what they need or want? We know what's best for them. We elite. We know what's best for them. Democracy. God, you know. So that's really what they had in mind. They was like, they didn't want you to have a say, motherfucker. They felt like you was too stupid to know how to run your life. You know. Which is sort of, for me, part and parcel of fucking Christianity. Like, Christians tell you in a heartbeat, like, you're pitiful. You know what I'm saying? You were born into sin. You was born needing to be saved with your bitch ass. You better submit to Jesus. Like, that's you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know. This country is a lot. I mean, freedom for who? For the Native Americans? Where their liberty at? You know what I'm saying? What are their rights? Do they count? I mean, it was here first, dog. But they ain't counted in what you got going on here? What about their freedom and liberty and pursuit of happiness? What about that? What about that? You know, oh, it's just all about yours. What about their religions and traditions? Fuck that. Fuck that. You say join Christianity or die? Is that what you say? Assimilate, you son of a bitch, savage? You say? I guess, you know. Freedom for who? Freedom for the slaves? Where they liberty and life and pursuit of happiness? Where there's that? You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't never meant for everybody. Like, the Constitution just wasn't meant for everybody. Like, it did not mean it for all you motherfuckers. You know what I mean? It took amendment after amendment for them to start even trying to include other motherfuckers. Like, all right, look, god damn. I mean, look how long it took for women to get rights. God damn. Like, before y'all could vote. It's like, y'all still ain't considered equal to men in this society. Like, not even today. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, y'all come a long way, you know, but the country was just like, bruh, fuck women, dog. They just looked at y'all as property. Like, look, you belong to some man. You better get married, bitch, so you can belong to somebody and make a woman out of you, make a lady out of your savage ass, bitch. You better hope he marry you. You know what I'm saying? You should see the rules regarding like what the man and the husband supposed to do in the relationship. I think it's in Ezekiel because I was like stuck on Ezekiel the other day. Like, bro, this is fascinating. Like, well, I mean, no, was it Ezekiel? Not Ezekiel. I'm tripping. Exodus. Yeah, I was reading Exodus. That shit is amazing. Like, just what's in there, dog. Like, I'm just in there like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, and motherfuckers are like, but y'all look negatively at Sharia law. Like, help me understand that. Like, if you really took what the Bible was saying verbatim, like for what it is saying to the letter, how is that any different from Sharia law? Like, I'm just like, bruh, like every day I be trying to read the Bible, dog, just for funsies. You know what I'm saying? Just to see, like, what it is you motherfuckers believe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least you Christians. Like, what? Tell me something else. Because it almost is like you could just randomly just flip, boom, just point to it, and then it'll probably be something fucked up, dog. Like, it'll probably be something fucked up. That's how fucked up the Bible is. Like, it's probably like you just randomly point to something and it'd be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I should do that now. Hold on. Wait a minute now. Holy Bible, baby. Let's just go with something fucked up, dog. We don't know. We don't know where we going. Where we going? Where are we at? This is Daniel chapter 9, verse 25. And you should know and have the insight that from the going forth of the going forth of the word to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem until Messiah, the leader, there will be 7 weeks, also 62 weeks. She will return and be actually rebuilt with a public square and most, but in the straits. Oh no, in a public square and moat, but in the straits of the times. Okay, well that was uneventful. Just talking about how they gonna build something. Lame. Let's try something else. Wait, no, that seems almost like that's just some random shit, dog. We don't know. We don't know what we're doing. We're just flipping through. Boom. What's this? Where we at? 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 10. Thus David went on getting greater and greater, and Jehovah, the God of armies, was with him. This isn't proving my point. Long story short, though, with some bullshit. That was just that. Well, that sounded like it wasn't even part of an interesting story, like what I just read. Where are we at? 1 Samuel? No, we was already in Samuel. Where are we? 1 Kings 15:8. Finally, Abijam lay down with his forefather. Wait, what? Oh, lay down with his forefathers, and they buried him in the city of David. And Asa, I guess that's how you say it, or Asa, his son, began to reign in place of him. Okay, so some dude died and his son took over. That's lame. Next. 1 Chronicles 23:1. And David himself had grown old and satisfied with days, and so he made Solomon his son king over Israel. That's the second time when it came on somebody like, all right, it's your turn, son. What the fuck? That's lame, dog. Let's try something else. Mark chapter 12, verse 30. And you must love Jehovah your God with your whole heart, and with your whole soul, and with your whole mind, and with your whole strength. The second is this: you must love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these. All right, to be fair, that was Mark 12, verse 30 and 31. First of all, it is impossible for me to love anybody else other than myself the way I love myself. I can love you the way I love you. You know what I mean? But I can't love you the way I love me. Like, that's, nah, you know, that's too much. I have to be way too involved in your life to love you how I love me, dog. I don't even know how I love me. I'm not even sure if I love me. I'm not even sure. Like, I don't even know what that would mean, really. Like, I feel like it would mean more than what I'm doing. Like, I feel like if I really love myself, you know what I'm saying, then I would probably take better care of my health. But I don't feel like, I feel like that's only partially my fault. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole socioeconomic tangent that I could get on as far as the connection between poor health choices like cigarettes, alcohol, drugs, you know, and candy and chips and pop and shit like that. You know what I mean? There's like a link between like poverty and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Or at least the likelihood that you'll indulge in any one of those things as a result of your circumstances being what they are. Largely because the state was like, fuck you. So you're like, fuck. I guess fuck me. Shit, give me a cigarette, motherfucker, and shoot that crack in my arm. Anyway. Or however crack is done. I don't fucking know. What else we got, man? Let's find something fun, man. Ezekiel 44:14. And I shall certainly make them caretakers of the obligation of the house as regards all its service and as regards all that should be done in it. I don't care anymore. This is lame. That's the weakest book ever produced. Like, ever. The stories suck. The names are hard to pronounce. And even if you could pronounce them, they're like, that's a lame name, dog. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, that shit is whack. Talking donkeys. Like, you would have lost me at the Garden of Eden. Technically, and then once I learned science better, you would have lost me at Genesis. Like, bro, this book is all over the place. Like, I don't know how anybody with a degree or at least a high school level, no, 5th grade understanding of science, could you still believe this shit? You know what I'm saying? Could you take the Bible or at least the Genesis account of the creation literally? You know what I mean? Like, there's no fucking way. But these motherfuckers do, dog. They believe that shit. They believe that is an accurate retelling of how the earth started. And it's like, brother, shit don't even make sense. You could pull that off with somebody who don't understand how, like, the earth actually came about, like how different processes affect other processes, and without those processes, that process won't happen. But the Bible got it like, nah, it still happened anyway. Nah, there was still photosynthesis and shit, and I hadn't even made a sun yet. Like, fuck you mean? Like, what? What? You know. It's like that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is all over the place. Like, man, that shit don't make any motherfucking sense. It's like, we just don't need God anymore. Like, we don't need that whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, you motherfuckers don't even worship him for real. Y'all just say, oh, I believe, but you don't really do anything. You still watch movies that are violent and sexist, and you still, you know what I'm saying? You still engage in vitriolic discourse online. You still say hateful ass shit to people online just to be a dick. You know what I mean? But you're a Christian, so I guess whatever, right? You know, I guess you're better than me because you believe in God. But you just as shitty as an asshole. You know what I mean? You're just a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Probably racist and shit. Probably think women are less than men. Probably got something against gay people. Like, you just lame as fuck, bruh. Like, that's just how I look at that shit. Like, I ain't got nothing against gay people. Like, I'm not gay. I know a lot of people think so because I be acting real zesty in my videos. I just think that makes it funnier. I don't know. Like, it started out like sort of just emulating the gay people I knew in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it started out just doing that, like, as a joke, I guess. But then, like, This is still the 90s I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? So then like it just kind of grew from like parodying them and shit to like you can't like it almost becomes second nature to you. Like you don't even be meaning to be zesty, but you just are because you pretended so long that like now it's just kind of like what you do. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of shit I do is like come off real sus, but I don't give a fuck. Think what you want. I don't care. Whatever. I'll be gay. Trans. I'm trans too. Whatever. Whatever makes you uncomfortable. I'm a woman. I'm an immigrant. Whatever. I'm an atheist. I'm all of it. Damn it. I don't give a fuck. Y'all niggas be getting so hung up on stupid shit. We got real ass motherfucking problems. That's what you notice what none of these religious books, political science, political science, political science, political science, probably political science. Let's just keep it real. Straight up history. You know what I'm saying? Political science and more political science. So it's like, that's all the fuck I read, really. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this shit is just American history, mostly foreign policy, a lot of domestic policy. A lot of it deals with pre and post World War II. You know what I'm saying? Like low key, I feel like when motherfuckers be like, make America great again, I low key think they're talking about like that period right after 1945. You know what I'm saying? Like when we was just on top. Like we was just on top. We was at our peak. America was at its peak, economically speaking. Even like with social shit, like we was at our peak then. So there's only one way to fall. You know, I mean, go, I should say. There's only one way to go when you're at the top. That's down. And there's been quite an argument being made for, you know, America's decline. Like, I mean, we was on top at one point, and now we're not. And I think that's really what MAGA is. Like, that's at least me being charitable. Because I'm like, yeah, shit was a little better economically speaking at a time before, you know, before neo fucking liberalism set in, you know, thanks to Nixon to begin with, you know, and then further exacerbated to a ungodly degree by Ronald Reagan, you know what I'm saying? And then continued on by fucking Bush. Jimmy Carter was no goddamn different. He wasn't no fucking saint. He had his hands dirty too. He didn't undo shit, you know. And then here comes good old boy Clinton, you know what I'm saying? Who kind of put the nail in the coffin, you know what I'm saying? Which pretty much with NAFTA sending all the fucking jobs overseas, you know. So yeah, it's been Democrats and Republicans who have been at the helm making our lives worse. You know what I'm saying? Mostly Republicans, but Democrats too. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I was like, yeah, they set it up and Clinton knocked it down. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, they had their hands dirty too. All of them. Pelosi was in Biden. Biden's a piece of shit. Pelosi's a piece of shit. The Clintons are just a family of shit. You know, I mean, I'm just saying, like, and I'm only shitting on Democrats right now because, I mean, we already know, like, that's the only political party that's relevant at the moment right now. You know what I'm saying? Because the Republicans are not, according to Noam Chomsky, but he was quoting somebody else. But basically, he was like, the Republican Party is no longer a party in the traditional sense of the word party because they're just no longer interested in parliamentary politics. Like, it's just sort of like, what the fuck over there? You know what I mean? So he considers them a right-wing, a radical insurgency. He calls them the Republican National Insurgency. No, the Republican Radical Insurgency. That's what he calls them. He doesn't call them a political party. He was like, so the Democrats are the only ones left, and they right-wing as fuck, economically speaking. You know what I'm saying? Now, socially speaking, yeah, they to the left, but that's just in rhetoric. Like, the shit that they pass is not helping out no working class motherfuckers, you know? And then they weak as fuck, feckless as shit, you know? And really pretty much, I mean, when the cameras ain't rolling, they're really right along with fucking the Republicans, you know what I mean? But when the cameras is rolling, it's like, oh, you motherfuckers over there on that side, you know? It's like, man, please. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of them really are like that. Some of them really can't stand the motherfuckers on the other side, whoever they are, you know? But I feel like the overwhelming lion's share of them, it's just all kabuki theater, dog. Right? They're just fucking around. They don't really give a shit because they're all part of the same club, the capitalist club. They're all part of the same team, the bourgeoisie, against the rest of us, peasants, plebeians, the rest of us, proletarians, the poor, the working class. The elite have nothing but contempt for the rest of us. And that's on the left and the right. They just want us to be all hung up on that left-right bullshit to keep them, you know what I'm saying, to keep us from focusing all of our anger that we're like focusing on MAGA and QAnon or Black Lives Matter, like all that shit that we all focused on and getting mad about. Yes, that's all they're thinking. Yes, keep it up. As long as you leave our wealth and power alone, y'all can kill each other for all we give a fuck, you know. And that's really the sentiment. That's really all it's ever been. Like, they don't give a shit about you. I don't care what they tell you. These politicians, they don't give a fuck about you at all. They'll say whatever they got to say to win your vote. And then once they get it, now they can start actually working for the people that they really give a shit about. Their shareholders. The shareholders, their donors, that's who they give a fuck about. And that's who they work on behalf of. So they don't give a fuck about you. You have a statistically not even relevant level of influence on what policy gets passed or doesn't get passed. Like, statistically irrelevant what you, the public, want, you know. Like, you can look that up. Like, that's not even hyperbole. It's like, how much of an effect does the public opinion have on any policy getting passed? And you'll be like, it's almost statistically irrelevant. Like what? I don't know. If like there's 100% of something and I gave this person 99% of it and I gave you 1% of it, is it really fair to say that, like, yeah, I gave you some. I mean, I gave some to both of y'all. You know, everybody got some. You know, it's like, I mean, you're saying that like everybody got their fair share or everybody got like a decent. I'm like, no, you gave damn near all of it to them. You could say you gave me some, but like, what is 1% of 100? Like, when you gave the 99 to them, like, get the fuck out of here, dog. Like, anyway. So yeah, the whole point of this video, just to sum it up, because I kind of got to go. But the whole point of this video was just to address dude who was like, your fuck America shirt is wild, dog. Whoa, dog. You know. So I'm just like, I had to explain, like, because fuck America, son. Like, there's really not a lot going on here that you couldn't get in one of the other OECD nations. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at that list, that's a lot of countries, you know. Or you want freedom and rights and all that shit. Yeah, they got that shit there too. They got Wi-Fi and shit. Fuck you mean? You know what I mean? Like, half the shit that we got here, they got there. If not all of it, and then some. Like, at least you ain't a fucking, like, at least everywhere, there's exploitation everywhere. Don't get me wrong. Like, wherever capitalism is, exploitation exists. But some places are just heartless about it. And we're one of them. Like, we just don't care about our citizens here. Like, everything costs your monkey ass. Everything. I don't give a fuck how much you need it. You got to pay for it. Sorry. You know. Because if you cared, then you would just make it available. Like, maybe you pay for it through taxes or some shit, but like not at the point of, you know what I'm saying? Like, right, not at the point of service. Like, damn, I can't. Fuck you mean? I'm literally in the hospital bed, and I got this bitch coming here talking about, so how will you be paying? Do you have insurance? Or, you know, it's like, damn, bitch, can I at least get out of the hospital bed first? Like, you coming to my bed. Like, yeah, so, we can get paid, you know. It's like, God damn, not how are you doing, you know, or not like, so. It's like, that's all this country cares about is the fucking money. That should be the national anthem. Fuck you, pay me. Like, that's the national anthem. Fuck you, pay me. I don't care who you are. Fuck you, pay me. And it's like, that's bullshit. But you still say you fucking care about your citizens. You still love your country. Country don't love you if you ain't rich, and preferably a white rich cis male, preferably. It's like, they don't give a fuck about you, dog. The more you're not that, the more you're not a white, land-owning, rich, cis male, you just start to be more and more devalued. Like, oh, so you're a white, rich, land-owning, gay male. Black male. You know what I'm saying? Gay black male, but still rich and land-owning. Transgender, still rich and landowning. Like, yeah, like, get the fuck out of here, bro. This country is fucking nuts. This is only some of them. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. That is what? And I've read 40 books this year. You know what I'm saying? And all them political science books. Okay, that's not true. Because I did get Fire and Fury, you know what I'm saying? Because I just wanted to know. That was sort of like ice cream for me, you know, the Fire and Fury book, just talking about like what the fuck was going on during the Trump administration, just like behind the scenes and shit. That shit was interesting as fuck. Like, that shit is interesting as fuck. You got to read that shit. But anyway, so that, yeah. And then I got a book called The F Word, where it's basically just giving you a history on words that were considered vulgar or obscene and words that are now, you know, and then like words you didn't even know of, like what the fuck, you know, or the words that you know of, but you was like, damn, why would somebody get offended by that? But anyway, so he said the most offensive sentence that I think he found that you could say in America is holy fucking shit, nigger. He was like that because it kind of it hits every one of the talking points. Like all of the things that we associate bad words with is usually like body parts or certain activities associated with the body, like fecal matter, or, you know, breasts or the buttocks, or just like, you know, so it's like whatever customers we come up with, like, kind of were derived from those bodies. Anyway, I'm getting into a bunch of shit. Just wanted to make this video to explain why this. So for any of y'all watching who just got here or who wasn't here that for the beginning, that's what this video is about. So if you just, you know what I'm saying? So just kind of like rewatch it. But don't watch the part where I was about to cry and shit. Fuck that part. I didn't cry though. I was this fucking close, but I didn't fucking do it. So there's that. Cause I don't want to be liking motherfuckers that get on fucking line and want to cry in the video and shit. Like, why are you crying on camera? Get your crying ass off the goddamn camera. Like, that's what I be thinking and shit. So I didn't want to like do that shit. I was thinking that as it was happening, like, you are not about to cry on camera, bro. That's why I'm like, nah, we ain't doing this. We're not doing this. That's why I had to change the subject, like, real quick. Like, fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? Crying ass. It's okay to cry. I'm not saying that. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying you can cry. But, like, don't do it on video, bro. Like, and even if you do it on video, don't post it. Damn. Like, don't want to see that shit. Trying to get sympathy likes. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here, dog. You cry and post that shit, I'ma clown your ass, bruh. Like, bruh, you ain't crying right now. You might have been crying when you posted it, but you ain't crying now. Now that it's viral and shit, you know what I'm saying? Fuck out of here. That's all this was about. You just want to go viral. Anyway, I'm about to go, dog. I'm sorry I didn't really like address most of y'all's comments. But I will though. Like, I'm gonna go back and look at these and shit and say what's up. But all right, man. Hail Satan. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm gonna holler back.